Welcome to Finish the Race, a conservative Christian podcast where we'll dive deep into the current events and social issues affecting Americans.
In this present crisis, government is not the solution to our problem. Government is the problem.
In times like these, truth, principles, and solutions matter. Through God's Word, we can restore our true American values, faith, family, and country.
However, I consider my life worth nothing to me. My only aim is to finish the race and complete the task the Lord Jesus has given me, the task of testifying to the good news of God's grace.
Now, here's your host, Eric-Thompson.
Hi, welcome to Finish the Race. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Eric-Thompson out here in California. It's Wednesday, May 5th, 2022. Thank you so much for listening in. This is a daily podcast where we're going over issues that deal with politics, which anymore seems to be everything, social issues, the economy. And we look at the world from a Christian worldview just so we can try to keep some semblance of normalcy and borders and boundaries to what things should be. Here are some of the main trending stories that are taking place today. Number one, on Monday, Politico published a story, and it included a illegally leaked, which is kind of like the same thing, but there was a leak of a draft opinion, majority draft opinion that was being written by conservative Supreme Court Associate Justice Samuel Alito, a majority position, that said that Roe v. Wade is overturned. Of course, that has freaked out the far left. The case is actually Dobbs versus a Jackson Women's Health Organization, which the case was brought where Mississippi argued that after 15 weeks, they can't do abortions. Well, because of the case, and it got up to the court heard the arguments, and after they heard the arguments from both sides, they did a discussion, and 5 of the conservative justices said Roe was so poorly written that it doesn't make any sense, and that abortion is not codified, it's not in the Constitution, so the idea of abortion must be sent back to the states to individually handle the topic. Well, what that did is that got rid of Planned Parenthood versus Casey from 92, and they got rid of Planned Parenthood. So if next month the Supreme Court actually goes ahead and releases their final ruling, because right now we're only working off of a draft opinion from February 10th. It could have changed. One of the justices or more could have flipped to the other side. So there's all this freaking out over a probable but not a guaranteed. Chief Justice Roberts did say that someone had committed a betrayal of the court by leaking the document, but that it was legitimate. The document's legitimate. So that one story from Monday has carried over now to President Joe Biden went scorched earth today. Remember the unity president? We'll cover some of his of what he said, but an overall statement, it's the MAGA people's fault. They got politicians on Capitol Hill and then the Supreme Court, and they are so radical, they're probably now going, even though he called it the mega movement at first, this group of radicals could ban homosexuals from schools next, and then Black American children from, because they're the most extreme political organization in history. That's because Roe v. Wade, which was written poorly, Casey based off of it, the justices determined that it needs to be sent back to the states. That's it. It didn't say abortion can't happen. It just said based off of the Constitution and what was presented to us, Roe v. Wade was decided incorrectly, which negates Casey from 92. Joy Behar, of course, from The View, she's like, oh, this is a war. What's a war? Yeah, saying that the law was unconstitutional. It's a war on women, gays, and people of color. How? It doesn't matter when you're emotional and godless. It doesn't matter. You can just make stuff up because in your mind you are racing through all of these different things that are going to take place. Worst case scenario. We'll also get to comments from Elizabeth Warren, U.S. Senator from Massachusetts. Give you a hint. One of them is actually calling for criminal investigation, a criminal investigation into the Supreme Court justices. Yes, this is criminal. The justices who said during their confirmation processes they would follow the Constitution are criminally liable now for lying to them, lying to the committee. So we'll cover that briefly. So that's the first thing that's going on. Violence in the streets, people freaking out. 13 states are saying if once Roe is overturned, they're going to kick in their state-funded radical open border policies immediately. Second thing is the economy. The Federal Reserve raised the prime rate, their target rate, by the most in 22 years. We'll get to that here in a little bit. The trade deficit, because of the Biden policies, is the highest ever. And we'll get to that. Lastly, on the border, another court said, you know what, Biden administration, catch and release is not going to work. Another court's already said the remain in Mexico policy must be reinstated. And now there's lawsuits saying Title 42 must stay in place. But the DHS and Mayorkas, the secretary, is like, we're still going to go ahead and let Title 42 expire anyway in May. We don't care what the courts say. But see, Mayorkas is either lying or he's really, really disconnected from reality, because he's claiming that his new disinformation chief, that he wasn't aware that she did some crazy, loony TikTok videos before being put in that position, that she's anti-Trump, that she tweeted that the Hunter laptop story was misinformation and disinformation. But he didn't know. He didn't know. What's consistent in all of these? Lawlessness. The left gets violent when they don't get their way. Abortion was supposed to always be available anytime up to the moment of birth, and some arguing for afterbirth, because that's going to be taken away. There should be violence, and there should be criminal investigations. Punish the judges. Because the Biden administration, which the liberal media is saying it's actually not Joe's fault because his policies haven't been put in place yet, so it's not his fault. Things are a mess. But see, I was thinking about it. When things get like this, who benefits when we get in this situation? People with cash and that are wealthy, because they're buying up real estate, etc. Because the loans are now, mortgages are going to go up and up and up, which will make homes unaffordable. And so people who still want to sell their lower price homes will just take the cash offers, which then they get flipped, which causes inflation more, because the housing then is priced more when they come back on the market, or they become high price rentals. All of this is because of lawlessness. because of an abandonment of the Constitution, the pursuit of life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, open borders. It's all because of the Marxist policies that are in place, the immigration policies that are not being enforced, and the education system that is graduating infused, sexually perverted Marxist social justice warriors. So we have our hands full. All right, let's start with the first one. President Joe Biden. He was speaking today and he was referring to the the Make America Great Again movement. So he was speaking from the White House, and I'll try to play a little clip of it here, but you can hear Joe for himself trying to blame the MAGA movement for Roe v. Wade and everything that's taking place right now.
Or Cam Reed.
I'll let the little commercial run here, which they throw in on us. But what you're going to hear Joe here, he's in front of the selected press that's able to actually ask him questions, and he's going to answer questions. But now, first, he's going to make a statement here, and he's going to blame all of the woes of this unrest in the country and on the decision by the Supreme Court justices on being a MAGA
What's
movement.
the next step on abortion once this case gets settled?
As I said when when this hit, as I was getting on the plane to go down to Alabama, this is about a lot more than abortion. I hadn't read the whole opinion at that time. But this reminds me of the debate with Robert Bork. Bork believed the only reason you had any inherent rights was because the government gave them to you. If you go back and look at the opening comments with the Bork-Biden, when I was questioning him as chairman, I said, I believe I have the rights that I have, not because the government gave them to me, which you believe, but because I'm just a child of God. I exist. I delegated by joining this union here to delegate some obligation, some rights I have to the governments for social good. So the idea that somehow there is an inherent right.
Choosing Flow has saved 100.
Well, they like their commercials here. They're going to run 2 commercials on us in a 1-minute video. Well, I want to get to be here in 10 seconds. I want to have Joe tell you and warn you. I want you to hear him warning about the extreme MAGA movement. So here is Joe.
That there is no right of privacy, that there is no right. And remember the debate we had, you don't remember, but we had a debate about Griswold versus Connecticut. There had been a law saying a married couple could not purchase birth control in the privacy of their own bedroom and use it. Well, that got struck down. Griswold was thought to be a bad decision by Bork, and my guess is the guy's on the Supreme Court now. What happens if you have a state changes the law saying that children who are LGBTQ can't be in classrooms with other children? Is that legit under the way the decision is written? What are the next things that are going to be attacked? Because this MAGA crowd is really the most extreme political organization that's existed in American history, in recent American history.
So there you go. It's the MAGA movement because of this decision by the Supreme Court, which, if it is announced, is the final decision by the court. Then, of course, like Behar and Biden and Elizabeth Warren are saying, that means the white racists have taken over, even though Clarence Thomas is on the court and he's the most conservative. What else would this MAGA group do to the country? Well, Elizabeth Warren from Massachusetts, she's freaking out because she says over and over again, I'm angry. I'm angry. Oh, I'm so angry. I'm angry. I'm angry. She's saying, well, I think there should be a criminal investigation of extremist pro-life Supreme Court justices that were involved in this decision. Yes, she wants there to be a criminal investigation into Thomas, Alito, to Barrett, to Kavanaugh. So, hey, this is just a criminal act because these justices, again, Gorsuch, these justices didn't tell us that they were going to overturn Roe when they were questioned in the committees during the confirmation process, so it's criminal. Then she said, well, we now need to get rid of the filibuster, so then we as radical leftists can go ahead and add 5 justices to the Supreme Court to water down the conservative majority and put 5 anti-constitutionalists who can't determine what a woman is or a man, who are critical race theory advocates, Black Lives Matter advocates. We need to put them on the Supreme Court. Because how dare justices look at Roe v. Wade and determine that it's not constitutional? I told you about Behar from The View. We know she's already loony. But she's like, oh yeah, they're definitely coming after the gay people now. They're coming after the homosexual. They're coming after everybody. So that's the first story. Nothing we can really do to fix it right now except for Christians to be in prayer and to be able to give an answer in the community. And I'm hoping that Chief Justice Roberts expedites the release of the final decision, so then this could calm down, and then the states could take over with what they're going to do, which is what should be happening anyway at this point. I think the federal government needs to be deconstructed and things sent back to the states anyway, especially immigration. When it comes to states should be able to tell the federal government, if you cannot let people come into our country or we are going to stop them also. But immigration education needs to be fixed and fixed now. About a year and a half ago, my wife and I had T-Mobile cell phone service, and if you're with AT&T, Verizon, Sprint, or T-Mobile, you're paying too much for your cell service. We were. And I got tired of it because I tried AT&T before, and I was trying to figure out a way to get my bill stable, the same every month. And even if we went over on our data and it wasn't happening, well, I heard about a company called Pure Talk USA out of the Atlanta, Georgia area. So here's what happens. You can head over there today to getpuretalk.com. Getpuretalk.com. You're going to see the rates are 50% off, but the rates that you're getting when you choose the same packages of what you have like with AT&T or Verizon is already about 50% of what you've been paying. So you can keep your phones, keep your phone numbers, keep the coverage for half the price. And when you sign up using my promo code of FLS, 3 letters, FLS, you get 50% off your first month, which makes your first bill very low. A-plus rated, CEO is a U.S. veteran, top-rated wireless company by Consumer Affairs, located in their customer service. They're better than the main carriers, so you get better customer service for about half the price. You don't pay for overage charges if you go over on your data, so your bill's the same every month. Average family saves over $800 a year by not doing anything different than going to getpuretalk.com, choosing the same packages, getting the discounted pricing, 50% off the first month with promo code of FLS. It's a no-brainer. Inflation's crazy. Everything's going crazy. This is a way to get your budget back in line by saving $800, $900, $1,000 a year by simply switching your cell phone service to Pure Talk at getpuretalk.com. All right, the second story. The Fed raised the interest rate, their main interest rate that everything is based off of. They call it the central bank's benchmark federal funds rate. I was trying to simplify it for you, but so they announced after a 2-day policy meeting on Wednesday that they're going to raise the rate between 0.75, the total rate from 0.75 up to 1%. And right now they've approved a 0.5 percentage point increase rate and announced plans to shrink its $9 trillion asset portfolio. But basically, this is the largest rate increase since 2000. The Fed usually lifts the interest rates 0.25% in 0.25% increments. But because of the rising pricing pressures and the inflation rate, which is out of control, and other factors, Biden's administration's policies and mishandling of the economy is forcing this base interest rate up, the benchmark rate up, which means car loans are going to become more expensive. Credit cards are going to have higher interest rates, and mortgages are going to be more expensive, which means higher payments, which means it'll be difficult for more people to qualify for a house. That's a big story. Because when you take that with conjunction with the federal trade deficit soars over $100 billion for the first time ever. It went up 22% in March. Can you believe that? To $109.8 billion as prices of oil and imported products rose due to inflation, according to data released by the Census Bureau and the Bureau of Economic Analysis. The trade gap in February was revised up to $89.8 billion, making it a previous record to January's, which was $89.23 billion. Well, hey, let's keep the record going, and now we're over $100 billion in deficits. We're buying $106 billion more stuff than we're importing, which is causing inflation. We're not making anything here, so we're relying on things to come from overseas, and when they don't become because of supply issues or chain supply issues, then everything gets very expensive, and it's making things very difficult for people, especially out here in California. The last numbers I heard is it's costing over $5,200 a year in total extra costs now to live for the average family in the United States because of inflation. That's a main story. And that is why what we can do about this is, first of all, is you have to try to make things last longer. So just don't be buying things right now because they're inflated in pricing. Secondly, is we get the GOP back in control of the Congress in November. In January, when they're sworn in, they basically just start deconstructing the federal government piece by piece. Even though Biden won't sign off on them, get them ready for, hopefully, for former President Donald Trump or DeSantis or whoever's representing the GOP in the 2024 presidential elections is sworn into office in January 20th of 2025, and sign, bam. You get rid of the Department of Education, you finish the wall, you get rid of immigration, period, and you start taking away any magnet or any reason for someone to try to come to the United States until we can figure out who's here, process them, and deport the people that should not be here. Trade deficit, record high, highest Fed rate increase instead of 0.25 point to 0.5 point, first time since year 2000. So those are main stories because that one and this abortion issue is affecting a lot of people, and it has a lot of people that have they've lost their collective minds like Biden and Warren, and so they're talking silly. Lastly, one of the main stories is on the immigration side. The Department of Homeland Security is a guy named Alejandro Mayorkas. He is from communist Cuba. And he reminds me of Robert Mueller, where sometimes he seems just not all there. Like he's very limited in his abilities, so he's not aware of a lot of things going on. But he has done everything he can, including lying continually to the Congress, to keep the borders completely open, to let people just get caught but then released, and to just flood the nation with millions and millions and millions of people. Mayorkas has been claiming to the Senate, to the committees, that everything is being handled perfectly at the border. Yes, there's record numbers of people coming in illegally and migrant surges. And yes, we're going to get rid of Title 42, which was put in to not let illegals come in seeking asylum because of COVID. But it's okay. Well, they asked him now, well, are you aware that your disinformation chief that you put in to try to go after people that disagree with your policies, are you aware that she did crazy, mentally ill TikTok videos? It looks like she has Arrested Development, and she's stuck in a young girl's like a elementary school's mindset. Did you know she did those type of videos? No. Do you know that she actually mocked people that were trying to say that the Hunter Biden laptop story was true from the New York Post before the 2020 elections? You know that she supported Hillary Clinton? You know that she's anti-Trump? No, she's fully qualified and respected. Well, the courts are trying to do damage control from a legal point of view. So a judge in Florida, which states are suing, the state of Florida, especially in this case, in September 2021, they're suing the Biden administration over its illegal catch and release policies, saying that they cause harm to the state's quasi-sovereign interest, while claiming officials are either in violation of federal immigration law or simply abusing their authority. Florida Attorney General Ashley Moody filed the lawsuit against the administration as part of an effort with Florida Governor DeSantis to uphold the law despite the Biden administration's decision to violate the law. So they're saying the catch and release policy is unconstitutional and it's against existing immigration law passed by the Congress, signed by a previous president. What is catch and release? Obama had put it in. It's where the Border Patrol agents are told, you catch the illegal aliens, but then all you're going to do is get their information, tell them we'll contact them when their asylum date hearing is up, and you let them go. Just let them go. The judge in Florida, Judge T. Kendall Wetherell, issued a scathing opinion saying that the court was wholly unpersuaded with the administration's position. Quote, today's order is a huge win in our fight against the Biden administration to fix the crisis by following the law. As the order states, not even the president above the law, and I look forward to advancing our case. I'm sorry, this was Moody. The judge said that he was wholly unpersuaded and that Biden's policies were, quote, little more than a speed bump for illegal, unquote, for illegal immigrants. So the judge said, you know what, this policy is not working. It doesn't do anything. It's like a speed bump. And, of course, Florida says this is a huge win. Looking forward to taking this up to the rest of the appeals courts because the Biden administration is ignoring the law, but they're doing it on purpose. So catch and release is found to not be legal because it doesn't do anything. It's not upholding the immigration laws. But another court decision that went against the Biden administration that's being appealed is that the Remain in Mexico policy must be fully reinstated, which means not only, if you combine the two, not only can illegal aliens not come to the border, being allowed to say, this is my name, this is my information, and then let go. No, what happens is when they come up, the Trump administration would say, why are you here? I'm seeking asylum because I'm afraid for my life. Paperwork, okay, we're going to contact you when your asylum hearing is ready. Now you're going back to Mexico. My administration said, no, we're not going to do the Remain in Mexico policy. They get to come in. A judge said, no, you were not allowed to stop that policy. You should send them back to Mexico, which they're delaying and not doing. And then Title 42 was the CDC directive that the Trump administration had advanced that said during COVID, if you came to the United States trying to get asylum, you were sent out back home because we were not allowing people to come in with COVID. So the courts are dealing with the Biden administration's failing immigration policies. Parents and other conservative groups and concerned groups around the country, even liberals that don't want their children to be brainwashed by the state, are fighting against critical race theory. They're trying to stop the grooming of children starting in kindergarten. So education and immigration are a mess. Joe Biden's policies are a mess. And all the left can do is say, oh, you got to keep abortion open because if not, that means you're not going to let gay children go to classes with non-gay children, and you're going to not let black kids go to school anymore, and it's going to be a total Ku Klux Klan event. Those are the main stories that are taking place as the Fed is raising up the benchmark interest rate, so people's costs are going to go up, which means it's going to be more difficult to get a mortgage, a car loan, and pay those credit card payments, and our trade deficit's over $100 billion for the first time. That is what it looks like to live in a country that's lawless, in a country that is really functioning in line with the Great Reset, which is the deconstructing of the United States of America to try to redistribute wealth and assets and opportunities to people from around the world in the pursuit of equity. This is why we're doing the show here, because I want you to know what's going on, but all of these have to deal with bringing things local. The Roe v. Wade decision, if this is finalized, which was released, which is expected, that would be a first big step towards taking away a federal statute and giving it back to the states, which alleviates the pressure on states, the majority of the states that are going to extremely restrict or outlaw abortion in their states. That is how the 10th Amendment was intended to be applied, and that is what the United States of America was always supposed to be about. If you have a 401k, if you have IRAs, and you're worried about inflation, you're worried about, are we going to have another 2008 crash? Are you worried about the petrodollar possibly going away, further decrease in the dollar? If you're worried about your retirement where you cannot afford to lose any of your pension payments or just your payments in general, or if you're getting ready to retire in the next 10 years or so and you want to make sure that when you do, your money's there, do what hundreds of thousands of other people are doing right now is they're ordering information or getting information on how do I protect my retirement. I'm partnered with a company called Goldco. It's the same one Sean Hannity is pitching. A+ rated by Google reviews, everybody. 5-star precious metals company. They're offering a free 2022 wealth protection kit. Get the kit. It's free. It's what Americans are using to protect their retirement savings. There's a little-known IRS loophole that allows you to protect your IRA, 401k, pension, TSP, or retirement savings from Biden inflation by simply transferring part or all of your money in your retirement accounts and stocks into precious metals. Go to this website, getgoldco.com, getgoldco.com. Hannity says all the time that protecting your retirement savings has never been more important, and getting up to $15,000 in free silver to do it. This is one of those opportunities you don't want to turn down. Order your free 2022 Wealth Protection Kit today. Read it over. If you're Christian, pray about it. Talk to them if you want. About 30% of the people, after looking into it, knowing it's going to hedge against inflation, which is out of control, and protect their retirement, decide to move forward at some level. Again, getgoldco.com, getgoldco.com, and fill out the quick form to get your free 2022 Wealth Protection Kit today. Lastly, if you need some MyPillow updates, you need your pillows, your neck's hurting, mattress topper, you need new towels or sheets, the Giza sheets rock. Check out these 50% off, buy one, get one free specials all over MyPillow right now. Mike Lindell's website. Go to my link, mypillow.vip. mypillow.vip, because you're very important people. You're going to use the same promo code to get the deals as you're getting at getpuretalk.com to save about 50% on your cell phone bill, which is 3 letters, FLS. That's your promo code at mypillow.vip. Make sure you get your free 2022 Wealth Protection Kit at getgoldco.com. Keep your heads up, guys. We're still in the fight. The things are bumpy, but we know what's wrong with the left, and we got to win the midterm. So take care of yourselves. FinishTheRace.com.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of MyPillow. Thanks to your support, you've helped make MyPillow become one of the fastest growing companies in America. Over the last 12 years, you've helped MyPillow create thousands of jobs right here in the USA.
When I got MyPillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
That's why I invented MyPillow. My patented fill adjusts to your exact individual needs and helps keep your neck supported and aligned. I'm interrupting this commercial right now. Retailers have canceled MyPillow, and to thank you for your support, I'm going to pass the savings directly on to you. Go to MyPillow.com right now to get deep discounts on all MyPillow products. For example, you can get my premium MyPillows, regularly $69.98, now just $29.98. The lowest price ever.
And actually, we got better deals over at our link. Go to mypillow.vip. mypillow.vip. Use a promo code FLS.
We all have smartphones. Isn't it time for a smart plan? Pure Talk USA offers Simply Smarter Wireless that covers 99% of Americans. Stop overpaying for wireless. Unlimited plans start as low as $20 per month and include the same great coverage. You never pay for any data overage fees, and Pure Talk USA never turns off your data. No contracts, no hidden fees, no surprises. If you're thinking our absurdly low cost means less coverage, think again. Pure Talk USA operates on the largest GSM network in the U.S. to ensure you're connected virtually anytime, anywhere. And our 4G LTE network provides the fastest internet speeds like more expensive carriers. You can keep your same phone and your same phone number. Add multiple lines to save 20% off your total bill. Go to puretalkusa.com and do something smart today. Unlimited talk and text plans start at $20 per month. No contracts, no activation fees, no reasons not to try. Come to puretalkusa.com and see how much you can save. Enter this promo code to receive 50% off your first month.
Promo code FLS. Go to getpuretalk.com. Getpuretalk.com. Promo code is FLS.